Today I escaped anxiety, or no, I discarded it because it was within me, in my own perceptions, not outside. Today you will make a start to discard your anxiety and depression. The Stoic philosophy is a way to help people live flourishing, resilient, and happy lives. Through changing the way we perceive life and our place within it, this philosophy teaches us how to live a life of tranquility and inner peace, protected from the anxiety and negative influence of the world around us. In this video, we will explain 10 ways to control and reduce anxiety and depression, and we'll look at some quotes from the Stoics to understand their thoughts on the subject. Let's begin. Number 1. Focus on what you can control. Epictetus says there is only one way to happiness, and that is to cease worrying about things that are beyond the power of our will. Stoicism places a strong emphasis on the idea of control as being essential to achieving inner peace. Anxiety often arises when individuals fixate on factors beyond their control, such as external events, the opinions of others, or the future. Epictetus explained that people only have control over their own thoughts, actions, and emotions. He believed that we should focus on what we can control and not worry about things that are beyond our control. Therefore, the first Stoic way to reduce anxiety and depression is to refocus your attention and efforts on the only thing you have control over: your own thoughts, your own deeds, and your own reactions. Epictetus believed that fixating on and worrying about things beyond our control is not only a waste of time and energy, it leads us to anxiety and stress. Whereas when we accept what we cannot control, we free ourselves from the impact those things might have on our peace of mind, and we are left to focus on the things we can actually do something about. The Stoics encourage us to emotionally distance ourselves from external events by acknowledging that they are largely unimportant to our well-being. This doesn't mean ignoring or neglecting responsibilities, but rather accepting that outcomes are uncertain and can't always be influenced. This shift in perspective can significantly reduce anxiety, as you are no longer overwhelmed by the weight of the uncontrollable. This shift takes us from a person the world is acting upon to a person who is acting upon the world, and this subtle change in mindset can be very powerful. Number 2. Practice acceptance. Amor fati, also known as love of faith. Stoicism advocates for the acceptance of the present moment, including your emotions. The Stoics had a phrase for this practice of acceptance which is known as amor fati, or love of fate. This principle has us not only accept the happenings of the world, but also love them. After all, we would not be here if the world did not behave the way it did, bound by the laws that govern it, and to resist them is to resist the very thing that has given us life and experience. Now, there is an argument against this practice, and some believe that through acceptance we become passive and submissive, allowing anything and everything to happen to us, and for us to be happy about it. This is not the case. Amor fati is simply the practice of accepting what is. No matter how hard we resist it, we cannot change what is. So we accept the state of the world around us, and then we look to see what we can control, and focus our effort there. This is not the same as lying down and taking whatever comes. Often, depression is exacerbated when individuals judge themselves harshly for feeling a certain way. Stoics argue that emotions themselves are neither good nor bad. It's our judgments and reactions to them that matter. By accepting your emotions without judgment, you gain a sense of detachment from them. This allows you to observe and understand your feelings, making it easier to manage them. Instead of resisting sadness or anxiety, Stoicism encourages you to recognize them as natural responses to the circumstances of life. Number 3. Use mindfulness and meditation. Don't let your reflection on the whole sweep of life crush you. Don't fill your mind with all the bad things that might still happen. Stay focused on the present situation. Mindfulness in Stoicism involves requiring a heightened awareness of your thoughts, emotions, and sensory experiences in the present moment. By regularly practicing mindfulness and meditation, you can develop greater self-awareness and emotional control. Stoic mindfulness is a powerful tool for managing anxiety and depression because it encourages individuals to cultivate a deeper understanding of themselves, detach from irrational judgments, and maintain inner peace in the face of life's challenges. It aligns with Stoic principles of rationality, virtue, and inner strength, making it a valuable practice for emotional well-being. One way to do this is to be present in the moment. Encourage yourself to focus your attention on the current moment, rather than dwelling on the past or worrying about the future. The here and now is the only moment you truly have control over. Secondly, have a non-judgmental observation. The Stoics' mindfulness emphasize to have an objective observation of your thoughts and emotions, so try not to label them as good or bad. This non-judgmental stance helps you detach from your automatic reactions. On the other side of the medallion, we have meditation. Meditation in particular is a Stoic tool for calming the mind and promoting clarity. It allows you to step back from your thoughts and observe them objectively. This can be especially useful in managing anxious or depressive thought patterns by giving you the space to challenge irrational beliefs and replace them with more rational ones. The Stoics look at meditation as a way of self-reflection and self-improvement that encourages forms of mental discipline and contemplation. Moreover, the Stoics believed in regular self-examination to assess their thoughts, behaviors, and virtues. You can do this introspective practice by contemplating your own character and actions. Sometimes the Stoics used visualization exercises to prepare for challenges. For example, they might visualize themselves facing adversity with calmness and virtue, mentally rehearsing the Stoic response to life's difficulties. You can do this too for your own life. Additionally, Stoicism places a strong emphasis on the cultivation of virtues like wisdom, courage, justice, and self-discipline. Stoic meditation involves contemplating how you can embody these virtues in your daily life. One proactive mental preparation you can do is to set your intentions for the day ahead and plan how you will respond to potential challenges with wisdom and virtue. Number 4, name the monster. Always define whatever it is we perceive, to trace its outline so we can see what it really is, its substance, stripped bare, as a whole, unmodified, and to call it by its name, the thing itself and its components to which it will eventually return. Marcus explained how he held on to perceptions of his own fears and anxieties. They were creatures in his mind that he had made for himself. He instructed himself to see through such perceptions and see what they really are. For example, Marcus would look at his royal purple robe and observe that it was only sheep wool that had been stained with shellfish blood when he was feeling overwhelmed with engaging too much in the heavy daily work. He would consider what money could buy while he was in financial difficulty. Exquisite fish dishes? No, just a dead fish there. Luxurious vintage wines? No, that is just grape juice. He described it as tearing off the monster's mask and removing the fabled story. Anxiety is debilitating and elusive. It may be so profound that it leaves us paralyzed. Doubt, ambiguity, anxiety, concern, pressure, and nervousness. They spin around inside of us, and we're not sure of how to handle them, where they are coming from, or if or when they will pass. The first step that you should take is to give the monster a name. Studies have shown that even identifying an emotion can calm the brain's emotional center. For instance, when you're driving and you see a yellow light, you hit the brake. When you put feelings into words, you seem to be hitting the brakes on your emotional responses. This is ancient wisdom. Expressing our emotions into words promotes faster healing. If a friend is really sad and they are willing to talk to you about it, that will usually help them feel better. According to Seneca, we suffer more in our imagination than in reality. Marcus Aurelius advises them to strip away the legend that encrusts them and to make things simple. Negative emotions and ideas will act like unleashed creatures waiting to turn against you if you allow them to fully reign. They will provoke your anxieties, disturb your feelings, and ruin your week. When anxiety, worry, and rage persist and grow, they become chronic and destructive. They turn into what seems like an unbeatable foe. Unless you gather the courage to set them down on paper, give them names to tame them, and shut the big doors in their final moments. Number 5, put your thoughts to the test. First off, don't let the force of the impression carry you away. Say to it, hold up a bit and let me see who you are and where you are from. Let me put you to the test. Every minute of the day, your mind is filled with different thoughts. About what is happening, about other people, about you, about what you observe, and most importantly, about how you feel. What must you do with all of these thoughts? According to the central tenet of Stoicism, the one thing you are not allowed to do with them, though, is act on them right away. Epictetus advises us to pause and evaluate every feeling and thought. Have the discipline to question every notion. Is this true? This is known as putting your perceptions to the test, according to Epictetus. The speed with which your mind can understand and classify things is one of its amazing miracles. We frequently make judgments in a split second. This subjectivity has the power to distort reality itself. Because of this, we must take our time, verify the accuracy of all we think and feel, and slow down. Since the majority of it is not, we are not really unhappy, but we are simply hungry. It appears that we have been wronged even though we have not. Actually, there is nothing to worry about. It is just our anxiety that is simply talking. This situation is not always wrong, because we can also see what is good. We frequently don't even need to think about anything at all and can just switch off our thoughts about this or that. Therefore, is it extremely important to think about your thoughts first? Verify them. Is it correct what you are feeling? Then act. Number 6, do less. We will benefit from that helpful precept of Democritus, showing us that tranquility lies in not undertaking tasks, either in public or private, that are either numerous or greater than our resources. For curing anxiety, Marcus Aurelius says, "If you seek tranquility," he said, "do less." Aurelius is advocating for simplicity and moderation in one's pursuits and actions. He is advising that we reduce the quantity of our activities and desires. We can only then achieve greater inner peace. He then adds additional explanation to the message for himself. Less, not nothing. Do only what is necessary, he says, to do less better. This will bring more satisfaction. By doing less, you can focus on what truly matters to you, your core values, personal growth, and the cultivation of virtues like wisdom and self-discipline. This aligns with Stoic philosophy's emphasis on living in accordance with reason and virtue rather than external circumstances. Going forward, keep this in mind every day. So much of what we end up doing and what we believe we must do is not necessary. We do things automatically just out of habit. Our motivation is just guilt. We either do it out of boredom or selfish desire. We then question ourselves about why we are feeling so anxious, or the reason why we are doing poorly, or the reason why our hearts aren't in it. Naturally, it isn't. Deep down, we are aware that it is useless. However, if we could do fewer of the little things, we would be better equipped to do the important things. Simplifying your life can lead to reduced stress and anxiety. When you have fewer commitments and distractions, you can allocate more time and mental energy to self-reflection and the pursuit of tranquility through inner strength and resilience. By doing so, we would also experience the serenity Marcus was referring to, the double satisfaction. Number 7, practice negative visualization. What is quite unlooked for is more crushing in its effect, and unexpectedness adds to the weight of a disaster. This is a reason for ensuring that nothing ever takes us by surprise. We should project our thoughts ahead of us at every turn and have in mind every possible eventuality instead of only the usual course of events. Seneca received a letter from his friend Lucilius somewhere around the year 64 AD. Lucilius felt anxious about the pending litigation. We don't know what the case was about, but we do know that it was serious, and that Lucilius had written to Seneca for help because he was worried about the outcome. Seneca's counsel? Why are you borrowing misery? Why would you suffer in the present only because you could in the future? In essence, he encouraged him to stop worrying and accept what would happen. Now, hearing this from Seneca, who invented the premeditatio malorum practice, may seem unusual. Stranger yet when you consider that Seneca instructs Lucilius in the very same letter to let us think of everything that can happen as something that will happen. How does that work? That advice seems to contradict itself. Premeditatio malorum, or negative visualization, is not intended to cause you anxiety. It is to get rid of anxiety. We can now move on with our preparations because we are aware of all the possibilities that might happen to us. Who has time to be worried? We ought to be preparing ourselves for the worst. Why spend effort choosing one result over another? For each of them, we are equally prepared. But what if something terrible happens? Okay, it won't be enjoyable, so let's take advantage of the present while we still have it. Premeditatio malorum is a sort of liberation. Whether you carry it in your pocket in the shape of a medallion, or you simply read it before starting a project, traveling, or taking a long vacation, a way to feel empowered, a strategy to prepare you for the future by utilizing the present. Use it. Number 8, take a motionless moment. To shrug it all off and wipe it clean, every annoyance and distraction, and reach utter stillness. Child's play. Marcus Aurelius ruled an entire empire. He needed to study books, write duties, pass laws, hear trials, and command armies. He was a really busy man. Like us, he was being pulled in multiple directions. He experienced worries, fears, hopes, and dreams. However, he talks admirably and regularly about finding moments of peace. He remarked, "If you can liberate yourself from the sensations that stick to the mind, free yourself from the future and the past, can create yourself, as Empedocles says, a sphere reveling in its perfect stillness." Have you ever experienced something similar? If you have, you are aware of how unique it is. You are aware of the kind of insights you were able to acquire and the levels of enjoyment and fear that creeped in and out. According to Marcus, taking these quiet times enables us to concentrate on living what can be lived, the present moment. Only then. You can spend the time you have left in tranquility, he stated, likewise in compassion, and be at peace with your inner spirit. You deserve moments like that. Times when you can observe how the snow falls, times when you can relax and read a book, times when you take time to check in with yourself while on a train, instead of being on a conference call, reading emails, or worrying when you will arrive in the city, to reflect on your life and what you hope to do with it. The presence of loved ones. Times when you are appreciative, connected, joyful, creative, and in the zone doing what you do best. What moments do these situations have in common? They are anxiety-free. According to Marcus, the mind is clear and rejoicing in perfect stillness. You are completely present, locked in and free of the past and the future. Seize these opportunities. You deserve them. Number 9, let go of everything except of this. Seneca said that when we are on the right road, we have that calming assurance that comes from not being concerned or distracted by all those that cross our way. So how can you obtain that? According to Marcus Aurelius, it is easy. Give up caring what others think. Don't give a damn what they do. Ignore what they have to say. He claims that what you do is all that matters. Everything else is unimportant to you. Everything else you can let go. You can completely disregard it. When we stop worrying about things we cannot control or whose effects we are powerless to limit, we discover ultimate peace. When we focus more deeply, when we look within, when we look at ourselves in the mirror, we then discover peace. When our minds, feelings, and bodies stop the uncontrollable emotions. As we mentioned earlier, serenity is the secret to a happier existence. There is only one method to obtain it. That's excellent news since it's simple. Simply put, you must stop. Stop worrying about what people say, think, or do. Start giving yourself everything. So stop and start now. Number 10, change your perspective on money. The founder of the universe, who assigned to us the laws of life, provided that we should live well but not in luxury. Everything needed for our well-being is right before us, whereas what luxury requires is gathered through many miseries and anxieties. Let us use this gift of nature and count it among the greatest things. Seneca received criticism even in his own day for advocating Stoic beliefs while creating one of Rome's greatest fortunes. Seneca was so wealthy that some historians speculate that the significant loans he provided to the people triggered a rebellion that became brutally cruel. His harsh nickname among those who were against him was the opulent Stoic. Seneca's reaction to this was rather straightforward. Even if he was wealthy, he did not need it or be dependent on it. Whether or not his justification was accurate or whether he was a little hypocritical, his advice is a good way to deal with the worries that come with living in such a materialistic and wealth-driven world. The Stoics did not have a moralistic view of riches. They were rather pragmatic. Marcus Aurelius once admitted to the Senate that he did not consider any of his wealth to be his own. "Even the house I reside in is not mine," he said. "It belongs to the people." When we stop placing such a great value on money, there is a calmness that will follow. When we stop believing that money is so rare, it's not. It is all very common. The majority of those who possess wealth do not stand out. In fact, most big fortunes are anything but tremendous. When we liberate ourselves from the attachments of luxury, life becomes much better. When we are free from having to make judgments that we need to work non-stop to earn more money and to pay for items we don't need, anxiety begins to fade. Remember, people can be happy with very little. We are approaching the end. Thank you so much for watching. We really hope this video has given you the strength and support you need. If you would like to see more of these videos, please subscribe to our channel. Is there anything you would love to see next? Please let us know in the comments. Also, respond with Master Motivational Mindset. If you have watched until the end, the next video will come up on screen that could help you further in your Stoic and personal journey.